Well, guten Morgen, wie geht es Ihnen? It is I. See, ich bin Francis, Padre Francesco, figlio di Stefano, speaking Italiano, e Deutsch, e Inglés. Okay, well, first of all, let me just take this moment to say howdy y'all. And I am smoking. Probably one of my first little Dunhill acquisitions from the Briar Patch, Arden Fair Mall this time. My Canadian, my wonderful Canadian. I love this Canadian. Beautiful Canadian, as Dunhill Man UK would show you. The beautiful deep cragginess of this particular one. This was probably a pipe that goes back to the 60s. And again, Dunhill used to make a little bit more deeper etchings in some of their briar. And this is actually a very beautiful briar. I don't know if I can try and focus in on it or not. Let's try this here or not. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Pretty little girl, isn't she? She's a good girl! Yes, she is. You just gotta love these Dunhills. I just love them. They're real works of art, and of course they smoke like a dream. Okay. So, pardon me while I put my glasses on so I can see if I'm in focus here. There we go. Okay, well, this video started off interestingly enough, I hope. Got your curiosity going there. In this pipe I'm smoking some tobacco that Herminator sent me. It's Balkan Sobriety in a pouch. And actually, it was gifted to me by another German pipe presenter. I want to make sure I say his name correctly. Bombardonius Franz, and he asked Herman to send this gift to me. So, Franz, danke schön, mein Freund. Okay. So, why am I here this morning? Well, a couple of reasons, actually 3 things. One, I want to apologize for that bombastic, if you will, 26-minute video. Now, I wouldn't apologize if I had something relevant to say. So I apologize to you, my subscribers, those of you who are kind enough to watch my videos. I just didn't realize I thought it was 16 minutes. Again, I have to have my glasses on, and sometimes I was in a hurry. So I thought, I can usually go about 16 minutes on my long-winded ones. And then I realized after I posted it, you know, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa, that it was 26 minutes and some odd seconds. So I apologize for that. Forgive me. Okay, so here I am, in some ways kind of making a little confession here. Padre Francis making HolySmokeNPipePadre confessions. Ooh, hey, I think that's what I'll call this one here. The Confessions of HolySmokeNPipePadre. Yeah. And some of those confessions have to do with taking an inordinate amount of time to get back to some of your wonderful remarks and comments on my tawdry videos. But thank you, and I'm here to tell you thank you for those of you who do comment, for those of you who painfully watch these things, but for those of you who take time to make comments, and even maybe they're not always the most glowing comments. Some of you might even say, "Hey, that was way too long. I had more better things to do in my life." You're right. This Balkan Sobriety is exactly the same stuff that's in the tin. At least to me, it tastes. I mean, it's identical, so it must be the same people that make the new Balkan Sobriety. They're just in a pouch form. So part of this confession is I want to talk about getting back to all of you who have commented in the last few weeks and maybe even the last month. Sorry about that. But I am going to hopefully on Monday have some free time. It'll be a holiday here in America, President's Day, February 18th, something like that. So, actually today is the 18th, I think. So, but anyway, so it'll be a holiday, and I'm hoping to get caught up on at least making an honest attempt at responding and thanking you for your comments. Okay? Now, so this morning, here's the reason, the raison d'etre for this video. J, it's always J. Asked what is your greatest failure? Your greatest failure. I think that's what it was. Our greatest mistake. Okay, same thing, I think. Now, this morning, of course, I'm smoking my pipe, and I am also drinking well. Here we have some Johnny Walker Red Label Scotch. But I'm not drinking this. And this is what I'm going to talk to you about today. However, I am drinking some wonderfully percolated coffee. I've discovered the percolators from the 50s, making kind of a renaissance like vinyl records, and I think you got to know when to turn it off. You got to unplug the thing. You don't let it percolate all day. That's liquid death. But once it gets brewed, there's nothing better, I think, than percolated coffee. A little splash of cream. My greatest mistake, my greatest fault, in Latin, the felix culpa, the oh happy, oh joyous fault. A catastrophe, if you will. What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, boys and girls, simply to say, I'm a recovering alkie, and alcohol, I have to say, was introduced to me in seminary. I'll tell you a story about that because I think it's very telling. I didn't know that much about alcohol. Certainly didn't know how to make mixed drinks. And my first seminarian party, I guess you'll say, or social, they said, "Hey, you go over there and make drinks. Go to the drink station. Me?" And I was a convert to the Catholic Church, and I came from a Southern Baptist background. I'm not saying that Southern Baptists don't drink, and if you do drink and you're Southern Baptist, I'm not. First of all, this is not meant to be make you feel guilty for drinking or trying to get you to take the cold water pledge or sign the pledge or become a teetotaler. That's not the purpose of this video. It's a purpose to tell you a little bit about the old Padre here, okay? That's all. It's not meant to be anything other than that. But I remember in seminary, I went in and I didn't know anything about making drinks. And they just said, well, the priests, and we had all these, elderly priests that would come in, and they'd go through and at happy hour. And so this one guy, he was a psychologist. That's all I remember about him. Old Father Tom. Okay, Father Tom. Quite a witty, erudite kind of guy. So he comes up and he goes, Scotch and water. And then he goes back to his conversation. He was talking to somebody in line. So I proceeded to pour him about maybe a little bit of scotch and the rest of it water. And he takes it and he takes a sip and he goes, "Water, where did you learn to make a drink? We're going to do this right. I'm going to teach you how to do this." Because I said, I've never done this before. And he goes, "All right, I'm going to teach you." Well, now all of a sudden, the people within earshot are kind of like, "What's going on here?" And he goes, "Now take a glass, take your tumbler." And he goes, "Now rake it through the ice bucket." And I did, and I had a whole bunch, big, like a glacier of ice in it. He goes, No, way too much ice. Pour some of that out." So I poured half the ice out. And he goes, "Okay, now take the scotch bottle and you pour until I say stop." I go, "Okay." Now I had thought in my innocence that little bit of scotch was like way too much, right? Gets better. So I take this big half gallon of whatever it was, DeWars or whatever, White Label, whatever it was, I can't remember now really, but anyway, I start pouring, and I'm thinking, okay, he's going to tell me to probably stop real soon because I put in way too much the first time, right? Not on your life. So I keep pouring, and I go to that first mark, and I'm thinking he's going to tell me to stop any minute. So I kind of like started back out. He goes, no, 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 keep going, keep going. So I'm going, okay, well, maybe he wants it half full, okay? We get to the halfway mark on the tumbler, and he's still like, keep going, keep going, keep going. I finally get almost to the brim, and he goes, stop! And he goes, now for the crucial part, the water. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe I put too much water in it. So I take it, and he goes, now careful, very, very careful now. And all of a sudden, I take this little bit of water, and literally, a drop falls in, and he goes, stop! Give it to me. And he takes it, and he tastes it, and he goes, oh, perfect. Well, I acquired a taste for scotch. I just want to say I did acquire a taste for scotch and lots of other alcohol. Drinking for Padres is kind of an occupational hazard because somebody always wants to give Father a drink. You know what the 3 most common gifts are for priests? They're either cookies, sweaters, or booze at Christmas time. You're either going to get a plate of cookies, a sweater, or a jug of booze. Okay. Anyway, so I kind of came to it in my early 30s, and alcohol for me was wonderful. It made me feel like I was 6'5" and bulletproof, good looking and witty, and just all the things that I really don't feel like I really am. So it became a real leveler in social occasions for me. So all I'm trying to say is that what happened was I was off to the races, and before I knew it, I was within a few years I was a full-blown alcoholic. And in many ways, it was a real source of failure, shame, guilt. A real sense of you are a loser, right? But what I discovered in the ashes of addiction was a brand new person, a brand new life that came out of that. Hasn't been easy, it hasn't been perfect, but I heard a guy say a couple weeks ago about in a meeting that unfortunately for people like me, there's like 2 different people. How appropriate Robert Louis Stevenson's book about Jekyll and Hyde is. It's all about addiction. And he says we choose whether we live out of our addicted persona or sober persona. And as experiencing that firsthand, there was a time when I literally lived for this first drink. It's a beautiful morning, Saturday morning. Nothing's going on. Hey, sales anchors away, right? But I choose to live out of my sober persona. I do that because in the long run, even though sometimes that would maybe make me feel like it's going to cure and take away some of my problems, the bottom line is, it makes us more problems for me. Now, I know there are many of you out there, God bless you, who enjoy, whether it's fine rum whiskeys or Irish whiskeys or scotches. Pipe Pastor just did a wonderful 3-part presentation on the Christian liberties and enjoying alcoholic beverages and pipe tobacco. And that's great. And if you are a believer, if you're a Christian, and you wrestle with your conscience over these issues, you can't go wrong watching those videos. They're really well done. But again, the freedom also is the freedom to not pick up the drink for me. That's my freedom. The problem is that once I pick it up, the first one, then my freedom pretty much dissolves. And then I don't have that freedom anymore. Today I have freedom. I can choose to simply say thank you, but no thank you. And I can live without it. one day at a time, as they like to say. So again, this isn't meant to be a 12-step meeting, but it's sharing something with you on a personal basis that, again, a failure, a mistake, which actually turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because today I can choose to live my life fully, and I do that. Now, there are many of you who, as I said, who enjoy taking an occasional libation, and it's not a problem for you. And I say, God bless you, enjoy it, you know. But I'm not that kind of a person. Now, this, I can literally put this thing down for a year, because I've done it throughout my life. There are just times that I smoke and times that I don't. Now that I'm a pipe presenter and having to talk about tobaccos and pipes and stuff, and really enjoying them, yeah, I choose to smoke. Like today is kind of unusual. I never usually smoke on a Saturday morning because I don't have time. I just don't have time for, lighting up a pipe. I wish I did more often, but today is a really beautiful, quiet, tranquil day, and it's a nice morning for a pipe, so I'm going to enjoy that. Take a walk later, and it looks like we might get a little rain, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you, Jay, for asking the question. And so until next time, you take care.